Four people stood up as though responding to some invisible summons, and faced each other, glaring. Only Beato was off to the side, watching the course of the young lovers' fight in suspense. Each pair of lovers has an unbreakably strong bond. Then, isn't that enough? Their love is already the real thing. There's no need to test it. But if so, then why must they fight? The victorious couple will be bound together by the magical miracle, and the defeated couple will fall apart. Why have the demons promised us that we will fall apart without a magical miracle? Why is a demon's game like this necessary? Well, as much as I was still questioning how people had to die in that first test of theirs, like random people, it doesn't matter who was killed, as long as they killed someone that would continue their progress in love and such. While it is something that I still questioned, and at the very least it had sense character-wise, in the sense that, well, at least you can have some parallelism going on between, say, Kirie and Jessica. That if Beller had to do this test like this, well, at least have some people killed in the process. But nonetheless, while I did question that before, I guess this, like, given my previous theories, like, if I'm right, or if I believe in my previous theories about Shannon and Kanon, then, well, this actually makes a lot more sense than what I thought of before. Why one pair will fail and the other will succeed. I don't understand. No, they aren't important right now. I have to think of an escape trick as soon as possible, so that I can save Beller-san from the locked room.
Batola の話を聞いた。厄介なことになったらしいな。お姉様。可愛い妹にして、一なる自分の片割れであるそなたを、わらわも助けたい。わらわなりにバトラの密室の謎に挑んでいるが、これは難解だ。まるで、ただの鎖を、知恵の輪だと偽られているかのようにさえ感ずる。ラムダデルタさんに言われました。かつてのベアトリーチェなら絶対に解けるトリックだって。お姉様にはわからないんですか？そのかつてのベアトリーチェという存在は、わらわたちが一つの姿となった完成された姿のことだ。わらわとてその身の一部分に過ぎぬ。解ける道理はない。
By this, she meant that we won't be able to figure it out no matter how much thought we put into our own incomplete forms. She was saying that neither the elder nor the younger sister could ever be expected to solve this riddle. Well, unless baby Bato would manage to think of something by herself, I guess the next step would be for them to form into old Bato somehow. Bato shook her head, chasing that thought from her mind.
私は諦めません。あの密室は心を急速に蝕みます。一刻も早く助け出さなければパトラさんの心が壊れてしまう。無論わらわも知恵を貸すことはいとわぬ。しかしわらわとてあの密室は見当もつかぬのだ。私たちで知恵を出し合えば、それはきっと一なる私たちが至るのと同じ答えのはず。どうかお姉様も 諦めずにお知恵をお貸しください。どうしてあのバトラのためにそこまでせねばならぬのかは相変わらずわからぬが、いいとも。他ならぬ自分自身の頼みである。わらわも知恵を絞ろうぞ。
ごらんフルフル、二人のベアトが一緒に考えているよ。
あの二人は本当にバトラを救い出せるのかしら。
救い出せるさ。愛の奇跡さえあればね。
そうねゼバル、愛の奇跡さえあれば絶対に。
ねえフルフル、僕たちがあの密室を解くヒントを与えてるって気づくと思う？
The two battles put their heads together, and straining their minds with all they had, they searched for a plan to save Bab. It was as though they couldn't even see the four people glaring at each other, and soon discussing the manner of the duel.
気づくわ。愛があれば絶対に。
They were the demons of love. Love is the single element, the source of all miracles. Could the miracle of love provide an answer for a locker room trick?
また出たわ。愛がなければ見えない。そのキャッチコピーが概念的なものとしては通用するのも理解するわ。でも密室トリックは情愛のかけらの一切混じらない純粋かつ冷酷な算数パズルよ。一体この悪魔たちは何をヒントだと語っているの？
私はすでにある答えを持っている。この悪魔たちの発言はそれが正しいことをさらに教えてくれている。
はいはい、あんたはすごいわ。いつだって勝手に正解が分かってる。そして私には一言も教えてくれないんだわ。観測者ルールにのっとるならあんたがそれを私に教えない限り、あんたは正解が分かったふりをしてるだけの嘘つきの可能性もあるってわけだわ。
Yeah, could be possible that you're nothing but a phony. A big, big phony.
やはり口の悪い巫女は良い。良いぞ人の子よ。私にとっては巫女の皮肉や雑言は神楽と同じ。
ああ、本当にイラつくご主人様だわ。お兄ちゃんのバカ、どうしてあんな密室を自ら。
考えるがいい人の子よ。考えるのは物語の中の人物だけの仕事ではないぞ。朗読者のそなたにも思考を楽しむ権利がある。私はそれを見るのが楽しい。
かけてもいいわ。あんた前の巫女には絶対愛想をつかされて逃げられたんだわ。
私をなじって楽しむもよし、二人のベアトと共に悩むもよし。そなたが考えぬ限り物語は進まぬぞ。
どうしてよ。私は朗読者でしょ。ただ黙々と読み進めればいいだけの話でしょ。
いいえ、考えてほしいのです。読み手のあなたにも。
なるほど。あんたつくづく嫌な作家ね。
Angie was, of course, still only halfway through the tale. However, there were only a few pages left in the manuscript she was reading from. Yeah, time is ticking. Only like a couple of games left. Where was the manuscript for the rest of the tale? It should continue much further than this. There should be many more pages remaining. Oh? Is this where you ended? Here? You didn't continue after this. Those were inside a different brown envelope, which was in Hachijo's hand. With a grin on her face, Hachijo waved the thick brown envelope about. If you want to read more, do what I tell you.
クール。これはお嬢が一本取られましたぜ。
Oh. Letting her read only so far for free, and then stopping when it finally gets to the good part. Makusa couldn't stop laughing at this underhanded approach.
あなたなりの意見が推理が欲しいのです。それを先に私に話してくれたら、この続きの原稿をお渡ししましょう。
Okay.
バカにしてるわ。こんなふざけた真似をされてまであんたの言いなりになると思う？
お嬢、まあまあまあまあ、落ち着いて。俺も先が読みたいですから頭を冷やしてくださいって。八条先生、原稿の続きですが、密室トリックの答えやいろんな謎の真相も書かれているんですよね。
もちろん。もっとも何も考えぬ思考なき者が読んでもわかるようには書いてありませんが。
あんたいつか熱烈な読者に裏切られたって刺されるわよ。
Yeah, I mean, fans can be like that. I mean, this is 1998. Imagine what's in the future, like 20 years.
それを分かっているから人前に出ないのですよ。人の子よ。
とにかく八条先生はこうおっしゃいたいわけだ。まずは答えを聞かせろ。答え合わせはその後だと。
その通りです、青年。意地悪がしたいのではない。本当の意味で物語の結末をしっかりと理解してほしいから尋ねているのです。
天草、あんたすっかり楽しんでるでしょ。ああ、そういえばあんたはテレビのクイズ番組とかめちゃくちゃ大真面目に挑戦してたもんね。なるほど、人生をあんたの方が私より数段楽しんでるみたいだわ。
And Gap is the show host for the quiz. Like Amakusa is there, going for his own answer, and then the Gap is gonna be the one who is making the sound effects. Bing bong.
さあ、バトラを密室から出す奇跡のトリックをどうかあなたも考えてください。
All right. All right. Well, I guess it's time to put our gray cells to good use. I'm gonna start with an easy orange theory for this one, and I'm gonna move on with the other ones from there. First, okay. Let me try that again. First, what, am I out of battery or something? Why can I still an orange theory? Aww. How lovely. I have a letter from a secret fan, eh? Yeah, let's see what is inside. Good day to you, my bony friend. I felt bad leaving you empty-handed after the logic room fight, so I hope that this gift will suit you well. You may notice that you cannot voice your thoughts in orange. That's because I have put a special duct tape on you. It is on your forehead. Why? Well, what better way to shut an annoying asshat for good instead of sealing their mouth? Their thoughts. For the rest of the game, you won't be able to fight the way you used to. With that being said, I'll see you at the next big event. Baka. Signed, Fururo Erika. Huh. Interesting. You could have finished me off right then and there. Why? The point of this fight wasn't to finish you off or anything. As much as you have your twisted way of viewing things, you are you, Nefarious. I only showed you that there are more ways to think about something. In which case, you have certainly succeeded in that. Also, it's not like it was just me. There is someone else who should be considered in the equation in this entire thing that happened. What? The hell are you saying? You, silly. What about me? You gotta keep in mind, before you decided to go with the idea that Rosa was part of a toy manufacturing company, and thus it would still stand that she made it for Maria. Like, before you decided to go with that train of thought, you went along and thought that there wasn't much there. You yourself changed your point of view. You yourself decided to look out the window for once, way before I decided to confront you about this. And that is a huge thing. The reason I beat you there was because you decided that it was the only way, and that there are no other ways of looking at it but your own viewpoint, which is definitely not healthy. Still, it wasn't just me. You already made your first step. Hold on. I'm just gonna stop you right there before you go tsundere mode on me or something. Now, there isn't much time left. Game 6 is about to start soon enough, and there is plenty of work to be done, and I'm quite in a hurry right now. So, I have a proposition. Let me show you, by the end of Game 6, something that can make you even more powerful than before. This isn't to trick you or anything, and you are free to decline the offer if you want. An offer? Okay, well, even if it's painful for me to admit, you have managed to put up a good fight, worthy of some form of respect, when it comes to your stance in the magical viewpoint, compared to before in Game 4. So, with that being said, I will at the very least hear your proposition for now. Come here. Let me tell you something. Huh. Interesting. Blech. Alright. Might as well. Hey, look who decided to show up. I'm only here to think about the logic error. That's all. As long as you do not annoy me, I want to use you as an axe to chop down trees around here. Alright, Mr. Cranky Pants. But just reminding you, I think that a wedding is about to happen soon. If we are to think back on that prologue that we had a while ago, you will have to put your gray cells to use. See if you can solve this logic error. I don't need any reminder. I did a lot of thinking before when it comes to the locked rooms in the previous games. More than you ever did. So I don't want to hear it from someone like you magic hippie. Alright. In which case, let me see what you're gonna do on your turn. Oh, Master of Locked Rooms. There are several ways to look at it, and in similar fashion to Noby, I'm gonna focus my mind on the 2 sealed rooms inside the guest house. The cousin's room and the other room. In the other room, we have Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kumasawa, and Nanjo. And in the cousin's room, we have everyone else. Everyone else. Well, in that room, there should be Klaus, Rudolph, Genji, Goda, Kanon, and Jessica. For now, while Erika's view is subjective, I'm just gonna think of her moves inside the guest house as the basis of my next ideas. That her being inside the other room, sealing the rooms, and exiting the guest house are the only moves she has done. With that being said, let's think of some options. First, would be that while Erika was inside the other room, someone from the cousin's room must have gone out and put a letter in front of the guest house. That is indeed something that Noby suggested. However, in order for that same someone to be able to help Balor from the logic error, that might imply that they never came back to the room in the first place. Thus, Erika sealed that person out of their room. And maybe that is not possible because of how it was acknowledged that everyone else is inside the cousin's room. If that person was still out after Erika sealed the doors, then that read cannot be said. So, in order for the logic error to be solved by having one of the humans from the 2 rooms help Balor, they would have to escape the sealed rooms after the repetition request was acknowledged, which leads to the second option. One of the humans from the 2 rooms escaped and helped Balor after the doors were sealed. Of course, keeping in mind that all doors and windows were sealed at the start before the logic error. However, what if we are going to be told in red that all the seals on the windows in both rooms were still intact, even during the logic room fight? Don't know if anyone can escape the rooms with all window seals still there. It would have been more difficult to argue that someone escaped their room to help Balor. So this is an option for both rooms, having window seals still intact. But we do also have to keep in mind that Erika only used her reds to say that the doors were sealed. She did not specify the same for the windows. So there very well could be some leeway there. So you're gonna go with the idea that at least one of the window seals was broken in order for someone to exit and help Balor? Yes. I will go with the idea that at least one of the window seals was broken by a human in order to escape and help Balor. In which case, it is mostly a matter of who done it, and it can be any human in any room. It would be too easy at that point though. If we are to even go that route, then Erika would have to deny that it was set human. It could be Kumasawa. What if it's not Kumasawa? It could be Genji. What if it's not Genji? I think you may be going at this the wrong way here. Unless we add something else into the mix, we really don't have much evidence to point at anyone specifically. Let me guess. You wanna add love or magic into the mix? I mean, it doesn't hurt to give it a try. For example, maybe Zeppar and Furfur have something for you to work with. What do I care about those 2 annoying Siamese brats, those? They did say that they were offering a hint there, so... Blech. This troll of love that has been going on for a while now. In retrospect, it really feels detached from what Balor is going through in this. You could take away the trial of love out of this game, and the same outcome would happen for Valor and the logic error. Feels so weird to think like that. It almost makes it feel like this trial of love does have something that can help with the logic error. So, what do you think it helps with? The only thing that I can think of is that maybe, excluding Bato and Valor, maybe Shannon, Kanon, George, or Jessica could be good candidates for helping Valor. But why? It would be as Noby thought before. If Shannon is Bato, or if Kanon is Bato, then of course either of them would want to help Valor escape the logic error. Cause Bato loves Valor. If we go by that logic, like if we have to choose between all humans who go out of their way to help Valor, it would be Shannon or Kanon by that logic. Maybe Jessica, or even George in that case.
考えたものにこそ、いえ、考えたものにしかこの続きを与えたくないのですから。
The Witch's Cathedral. No. Considering everything that's gone on in here, maybe it should be called a demon's abode. The kind of place that you would visit after a lost battle. After Battler loses himself again. The place where witches would cackle their way through the night. Erika, who wanted to savor the memory of her perfect victory, stood with the whole vast cathedral. Stood with the whole cast. Stood with the whole vast cathedral to herself as the flush slowly left her cheeks. Then, on the balcony that she had thought empty, a shadow came into view. It was Lambda Delta.
ラムダデルタ教でしたか。こんなところにお一人でいらっしゃるとはお珍しいです。ああ、あんた。大勝利おめでとう。おかしいわね。あんたには前回もそんなことを同じ場所で言った気がするわ。
She was probably trying to be sarcastic. However, Erika was in such a good mood that even those words sounded like a compliment.
さっきちらりと聞こえてしまったのですが。何？ラムダデルタ教もかつてどこかの大魔女のゲーム版で駒ともてあそばれ無限地獄に閉じ込められた経験がおありとか。
Erika had an unpleasant, triumphant look on her face, as though she had managed to pry into some embarrassing memory of another's past. However, Lambda Delta didn't look in the least bit flustered, and instead looked down from the balcony in silence.
春は？私は何年閉じ込められたかしら。ベルンみたいに私も律儀に数えていればよかったかしら。多分数えなくて正解だったわ。数えてしまったからベルンは壊れてしまったのよ。我が主もロジックエラーの地獄に落ちたことがあるというのですか？あるわ。ロジックエラーを起こしたのはあの子ではないけれど。主がゲームマスターではない。そうよ。当時あの子はまだ自覚さえしていない小さな駒だったわ。ロジックエラーを起こしたのはベルンの主であるゲームマスターだった。 我が主も魔女の駒だったのですか？
Yeah, more than likely.
ええ、あの子の主、これがまたひどいやつでね。自分で作ったゲームのはずなのに途中でゴールがわからなくなっちゃって、スタートとゴールがつながった。ドーナツみたいな壊れたすごろくを作ってしまったのよ。
ゴールをなくしたとは？
ロジックエラーってことね。どうやれば自分の望むゴールにたどり着けるか。そいつは自分のすごろくを、ロジックを描けなかった。だからいつまでもすごろくは壊れたままでゴールがなかった。ならば自分一人で静かにそれを悩んで考え出せばいいのに、そいつはあろうことかその考えることさえも駒であるベルンに任せっきりにしたのよ。無限の猿の定理って知ってる？
Infinite Monkey Theorem.
猿が無限の時間の中でデタラメにタイプライターを打ち続ければ、いつか偶然にも文字列がハムレットと全く同じ文章になるかもしれないという理論。いいえ、暴論ですね。
ひどい地獄よね。ベルンは無限の時間の間、意味もわからずデタラメにタイプライターを叩かせられて、ゲームマスターは自分さえ思いつかないゴールを彼女に作らせようとしたのよ。
Could Erika even imagine how horrible a hell that had been? A job that you have to do 100 times and a job that you have to keep repeating until it succeeds. With a 1 out of 100 probability. 1 in 100 probability, that sounds pretty generous to me. In my eyes, it's probably a lower probability. It may look very similar probabilistically, but the difference in cruelty between them is great. You have to do a job 100 times. You steadily approach the end and get more efficient as you become more used to it. And eventually, you can finish. However, when you have to do a job that succeeds with a 1 out of 100 probability, the hard work of the individual doesn't translate to even a slight gain in efficiency. Everything is left to luck. If luck isn't on your side, even the task of flipping a coin until you get heads can last more than 100 years.
タイプライターの鍵盤数っていくつくらい？ 100 個くらいかしら。それをデタラメに叩いてハムレットになる確率って何分の1だと思う？
想像もつかないです。多分それはあまりに天文学的。
Probably above a quadrillion probability. Probably you can multiply that by maybe another quadrillion.
そう。もはや無限にも等しい時間よ。それほどの気の遠くなる時間をあの子はずっと奇跡を打ち出すまでタイプライターを叩かせ続けられたのよ。
それが奇跡の魔女。
あの子が魔女じゃなかったら、いえ魔女になれなかったら、多分今も永遠にタイプライターの前にくくりつけられた黒猫のままだったわ。あの子は奇跡に愛され、見事に奇跡を打ち出し、魔女となってあの地獄を生還したの。その地獄があまりに長すぎて過酷すぎて、あの子の心はすっかり壊れてしまった。だからあんなにも意地悪で残酷な魔女に。あんたも選べるならあんな主は嫌だったでしょ？
そんなことはないです。我が主の駒となれて私は光栄です。我が主は強き者、虐げる者です。 弱者を踏みつけるのは当然の権利なのです。
いじめる側の人間ってわけ。最上級のいじめっ子の作り方って知ってる？
いいえ。
簡単よ。短い時間でもいいからたっぷりいじめて、不意にそれをやめ、今度は力を与えるの。これをやれば誰であっても最上級のいじめっ子に生まれ変わるわ。しかもすごいことに、本人はほんの3日しかいじめられてなくても、その100億倍の期間の間、自分はいじめられっ子だと信じながら最上級のいじめっ子として君臨するの。
それが我が主と何か？
あんたにベルンのことは何も分かってないわ。だから私はね、ベルンがどんなに冷酷で残忍で最悪なゲロカスであっても、私だけはあの子の本当の姿を知っててあげたいの。そして私もね、私の本当の姿を理解してくれるのは地獄の生還者であるあの子だけだと思ってるのよ。あんたは私とベルンの仲を嫉妬してるみたいだけど、諦めなさい。
I mean, indeed, Lambda and Burn have known each other for God knows how long. Like, you, Erika, you are trying to suck up to Burn like all the damn time, but you have a tough competition on that, in that sense.
あんたがくぐってきたと思ってる地獄なんて、私たちが這い出してきた地獄では瞬き一つ程度のもんなんだから。
Now that was probably mocking Erika back. The discouraged expression on Erika's face clearly showed that she couldn't accept Lambda's words.
お言葉ですが、地獄は長さではなく深さだと考えてます。
ふーん、言うじゃない、真実の魔女エリカ。
ラムダデルタ教の潜られた地獄を私は存じません。そして私が地獄にいた時間などきっと瞬き一つ分程度でしょう。しかしその深みでは私は何ら劣ることはないと思っています。
There is indeed a point there when it comes to comparing the suffering of a person, when it comes to comparing the suffering of a person with another person's suffering. I mean, one could say that they suffered longer than the other, but the other may have suffered quite a lot because of what that suffering represented to that person. For example, what Erika may be suffering, it may not mean much to you, Lambda, but it certainly means a lot to Erika. To the point where it feels as if what Erika is going through is quite astronomical to her.
あんたの戦勝祝いも兼ねて反論しないで聞いてあげるわ。
私に言わせれば、我が主の落ちた奇跡があれば抜けられる地獄も存じ上げませんが、絶対の意志があれば抜けられるラムダデルタ教の地獄も、どちらも抜けられるようにできている程度の地獄です。
へえ。
So I guess what Erika is trying to say over here is that her hell that she's going through is not an escapable one.
言うじゃない。
私は真実の魔女です。私の潜った地獄にはただ真実がありました。真実という冷酷な現実の前には一切の意志も、そして奇跡さえも介在できません。私はその真実を踏み越えてここへ至ったのです。この真実に耐えるという力において、私はあなたにも 我が主にも引けを取るつもりはありません。
真実に耐える力って何よ。
わからぬ者にはわかりません。それを制止できなかったからこそ、あなたたちは真実の魔女足りえないのではありませんか。
Ugh.
許すわ、その暴言も。
Don't poke the bear, Erika. That face that she did there, that does not bode well.
それに相槌を打ってあげることがこのラムダデルタからの勝利の褒美よ。
ありがとうございます、大ラムダデルタ卿。
あら珍しい。あなたたちが仲良くしてるなんてね。
At some point, Benkastel had appeared on the opposite balcony of the cathedral. Erika, noticing her, cried, "Bad master!" happily and dashed over.
ラムダデルタ卿に我が主の昔話を伺っておりました。奇跡の魔女である我が主にふさわしい奇跡の物語を。
一度だけ許してあげる。
はい。
二度と私の昔の話はしないで。
A grimace rose to her face, blasting Erika's good mood away. And so, Erika understood. Benkastel was also a witch running from Portland. Because if it ever caught up with her, she would remember those never-ending days of hell. This is proof that even my master still hasn't gotten over the pain and fear of hell. It means that she lacks the power to withstand the truth. For the first time, Erika felt just a little disdain for her master.
失礼しました。それよりこのようなところへどうしてお越しに。
あなたに褒美を取らせようと思って探してたのよ。
褒美ですか。
Yeah, what is she gonna do? She's gonna back scratch Erika for it as a reward?
ありがとうございます、我が主。
へえ、何それ羨ましい。何を取らせる気？
まずあんたを仮でなく本当の魔女へ昇格することを認めるわ。後見人は私よ。真実の魔女フルドエリカ。
ありがとうございます。
借りが抜けただけじゃないの。その程度の褒美じゃあまり嬉しくないわ。もっと素敵なご褒美がいいわよね。
いえ、そんなことありません。十分嬉しいです。
Of course, on the inside, Erika did want another present. Taking a cue from Lana Delta, she waited patiently to see if there would be any other rewards.
もう一つの褒美はあれよ。
Oh my. Benkastel snapped her fingers. As she did, a cloud of gold butterflies gathered, and summoned Balor sitting on a throne at the center of the cathedral. Of course, his eyes were blank. He was still an invalid, his heart trapped in the locked room that he would never be allowed to escape from.
あの男をエリカに褒美として与えるわ。